So, what's a cord cutting, and what happens with my energy and the energy of the other person when I receive a cord cutting is a question I often get. And so, in a cord cutting, what happens is that we all have emotional cords attached to people and situations in our life. So, if we've had difficult events, potentially traumatic events happen in our life, we will have some form of emotional attachment potentially to that situation or that person. And sometimes it's also just people that we've had experiences with, like maybe a school teacher that was judgmental, or, uh, you know, um, relationships where we could not fully express who we are. And so in situations like that, what can happen is that there's almost like a residue emotional attachment energy that unconsciously limits us a little bit in our expression because we still are holding some of those limiting beliefs that came from that experience. So in the negative emotional cord cutting, what happens is that we clear those cords. We clear the negative cords to that past experience or person. And by doing that, we release them to become free, to transmute and to raise that whole experience, that whole relationship to a higher level. So the result is that we feel lighter and the other person will feel lighter, the person that we've done the cord cutting with, because it kind of clears the resentment of past experiences, if you want. So it's really safe to do with anyone that we've had that type of kind of like we've had a conflict or had a difficult relationship with in the past. And it's a session that needs to be done once. Of course, sometimes if we want to re-engage with that person, we can bring those cords back. But, if it's something that's happened in the past and we've truly moved on, we can clear it and let that burden go. After the cord cutting, usually what I'll do is I seal the structure in what is called the purification by light, which is a mantra where I bring a light into your structure and work with sage to clear. And that kind of seals the whole, structure in light. And often I recommend combining a cord cutting with the life activation session, because what happens there is that, we can reestablish the flow of the light in the structure as well. So the cord cutting clears negativity from the past, and then the life activation reestablish our connection to the light. In a way, they kind of work together quite well, but they can be done as separate sessions as well.